What's up, guys? Mike Lewis here, and welcome to the Mike Lewis podcast. If you guys want to keep up with me on social media, you can follow me on Instagram at Mike Lewis Official, and you can follow me on Twitter at MikeLew52. It's where most of my updates come. But if you're enjoying my content, give me a like and a subscribe. And without further ado, let's just dive right into this episode. Welcome back, everybody, and rest assured you, if you're looking on your screen right now, you don't need to pinch yourself, folks. This is actually happening. Cooke and Cara Maria are reunited on your screen right now. What's going on, ladies? How are you?
This is the reunion! I'm doing awesome. It's good to see my face over here.
I was going back and doing a little bit of binging of Rivals 2 prior to this, and it's just kind of crazy, and it was hard to wrap my head around the fact that it's been 8 years since Rivals 2. That's kind of nuts to me.
8 years? Are you kidding me? Wow.
So is this guy your first time now you guys are kind of just on a screen at the same time since then? Because Cooke didn't go to the reunion, so I think this might be the first time that you collectively, since that final, you guys are on the screen at the same time talking about this.
Yep. Definitely.
But before we hop into I'm sure all the topics people are going to want to talk about, just give me the rundown what you guys been up to lately. I know from following the both of you, you both seem to be killing the CrossFit game. Cara's rocking the blonde now, and Cooke had a not so little trip to Argentina recently. So whoever wants to take the floor first and kind of talk about what they've been up to, feel free to do so.
Cooke, how about it?
Sure. All right. Well, I'm just living as a mom, working and working out. There's not really much else going on. I did get a little momcation to Argentina, which was awesome. It would have been more awesome if I actually made it on the show, but things happen and it's all right. I still got that little break, and I don't know. That's all that's really going on.
What was the quarantine like? Oh, sorry.
The quarantine wasn't actually that bad. I had a little window with Ryan Kehoe, and so we could literally touch hands and pass drinks and food together, so we kept each other sane. And then I could see Ace from my window, and he was down below in the dungeon, so we would drop snacks to him because he was starving. And then Derek moved across from us at one point, so he would shout to him. And then we had Kahutta above Derek. So we had this little quad of people, which made it fun. I had absolutely no view. Everyone else had a beautiful view and made it seem like they were in Argentina, but we just had a rusted roof in each other. And honestly, being with the people was actually better for me than a view at that point.
I thought when you said you were in Argentina, I thought you literally just took a trip to Argentina. I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know it was for the quarantine. So did you actually get to hang out in Argentina after, or did you spend some more time, or?
Well, yeah, we couldn't really hang out, but we did get some play time. It was we were in jail. But we did get to go on a few walks into town with the security guards and get to see the lake that was nearby. But for the most part, we just spent our time in the parking lot of the hotel, just having a little picnic, and we saw our little mountain and watched people pass by through the gate. We kind of looked like homeless people, but it was actually a really good time. I didn't really know any of the other alternates, except I randomly met Kahutta many years ago. So I didn't really even know him, but we all real world road rule stories, and I don't know, it was just kind of a cool situation, no drama. I was like, this is probably why we didn't get on the show, but I'm good with this.
Man, I would love to see you compete.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I watch it and it kills me because I'm like, dude, I just want to see what I would be doing on the show right now.
I for sure have been wanting to see you compete. Every time I'm like, come on, Cooke's got to be on. It's such a missed opportunity because you were such a beast on your first and only season. It's like, it's a shame that you haven't been back. So, but you know, that was
Yeah,
cool that you almost were in the door. I don't know.
I know.
Yeah, you should have
Just
made
got
it all
one
the way
in the door.
for you on the couch.
Maybe I can get one more. I don't know. It's probably unlikely, but I would never say never, and who knows. But I think it would be really cool to come back and just, I don't know, show people what I got.
We
Cara,
know.
what have you been up to?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I've just been, gosh, everything. I've been working on my photography, which has been really awesome. So me and Polly have like a separate thing that we're keeping a little bit quiet because, you know, when you talk about what you're doing, there's always people that try to make it, you know, people that are not happy with their own lives. They try to take away from what somebody else is doing. So we've been keeping on the DL for a little bit while we build. But I'm really excited about the photography. I've been shooting some really beautiful girls, and then I'm also opening up to shooting some of my followers, which is going to be really fun. So I've got that coming up in Texas at the end of May. And I really love being on the other side of the lens, really. And then I've been working out a lot, traveling a lot. Yeah, just nonstop and walking some dogs because I have no animals in my life anymore. My horse passed away, so I just kind of like I have no, you know, my dog passed away, and I was doing the final of Bloodlines, so it's like I don't have my horse, I don't have my dog, so now I'm doing like this thing where I can just, you know, go spend time with other people's dogs who need it. So I'm getting my fur baby love in too. So
There we go. But yeah, we could now transition into kind of this inception now, if you call it, of your guys' partnership. But I feel like a little known fact when you guys initially paired up, right? Well, obviously, what we see on our screen, Cara gets brought in, you know, as a replacement to be Cooke's partner. But I think what many people don't realize is the term rivals might have not been too far-fetched for you guys, because I think way back when, you know, you guys had a little bit of a Twitter, you know, tab. I don't know. I'll take you guys back here and what you guys.
that I did do whatever the fuck I did, and I'm so also thankful that I deleted Twitter. But I think it was like I was kind of getting hyped up. I had met Nani and the Naomi, and I met Heather, and I met them all in Vegas, and I was like, and I really like thought they were cool, and that I could, you know, hang out with them, hang out with those girls, and they didn't like you. So then I was that asshole that instead of meeting someone or just like, you know, making my opinions and assumptions based on my interactions with that human, I like went along with, you know, the popular girls, and I was an asshole. So, but I'm glad I got to be your partner because of it.
For sure. Yeah, I was just one of those things where I saw that she tweeted something about me, and I was just like, really? She's on the show. Like, she knows how this works. Like, she doesn't know like me from shit. And I always said, like, if I'm on the challenge, like, she doesn't know this, but I'm freaking coming for her. And then, of course, I see her come behind the corner, and I'm like, no, now she's my partner. Like, this, I can't, now I have to be her, like, buddy. Like, shit.
Yeah.
And she was totally not like, you know, how she was being on Twitter at that time. So it was easy for me to put that stuff aside. And at that point, it was like always the house against us. And what I love about us is that, like, I don't know, in the later seasons, you see people just hold so much hate, or just, I don't know, they get all bent out of shape, going into elimination or being voted in. And at the end of the day, like, as soon as we were voted in the first time, and I got like, okay, they're going to vote us in every time, because why are they going to burn other bridges? Like, I can't be mad at that. And I'm not going to sit there and be miserable at that house when we're stuck together. Like, that's going to be a waste.
We started, like, every time they go around games, I'm like, oh, no shit.
And then we like volunteered ourselves to go in, and then like TJ got mad at us. I was like, okay, like, what do you expect us to do? Like, everybody's talking about throwing us in. I'd rather put myself in there.
Yeah.
How long did it take you guys, though, like, to you know, kind of coexist, I guess you could say, upon finding out, like, all right, this is what we're doing, we're rivals?
0 seconds. As soon as
Really?
she came around the corner, I clapped for her. Like, even though I had like whatever issue with her, I'm like, this is my teammate. Like, I mean, I grew up in sports, so it doesn't matter. Like, if you piss me off the field, like, as soon as you're like, it's game time, you're my teammate. Like, I'm gonna do whatever for you. Like, that's how it goes.
And I come from a non-sport background, so I'm Cooke who's got endurance for days, who can swim like a damn fish, and I was in my transition of getting to be a stronger human, and I think I was still that like wicked insecure girl, but I had been working out, so I felt a little bit stronger and like ready to take on the challenges, but I wasn't quite where I am now. In terms of confidence or, you know, what I can do physically. And I just like, I wish I could be the Cara that I am now for you, you know.
That would be fun. Yeah. And it was shitty because it was at that point where people were picking on you and you didn't feel like your own value. So you let it like beat you up. Whereas now you're just like, you know yourself and you're like power. Person, like, I'm not gonna let you bring me down. But it's hard when you're in the challenge house because you don't have like other people, and at that time, like, you know, and people don't want to go against Johnny Bananas or tell him he's an asshole. They just let him talk. And to me, I'm like, that's just as bad as like doing nothing is just as bad, you know, as being a part of it. So, you know, you either need to like remove the person from the situation to help them out, or you're gonna have to tell them off. And you know, I do remember times where I was like, everyone just shut up. Like, this is so stupid. Like, this is not high school. Like, get over it. But that's what people do on purpose. Like, that's why I'd be horrible on the challenge. Because if anybody tried to, like, mess with me, I would literally just laugh in their face and be like, you're not breaking me. I don't care.
I think the thing is like, people know who they can and can't mess with. And I think I carry myself that is like, you can't mess with me, but like you knew that like you could get in my head. So I wasn't quite at the point where I am now, but people knew they could get to me, and if they could get to me here, then that would affect the rest of me no matter how strong I am. So that's what people would attack, and you can't blame them. There's a lot of money on the line. It's a you know, and I just gotta toughen up to be able to handle that, and eventually I did. But it was a season, but I mean, we crushed it. Like, the thing that got me is we crushed every elimination. We won that clutch challenge right before it gave us safety, because otherwise we were going right back in again. Like,
it sucks because we were so close to winning other daily challenges. Like, we would always be so close, and we were always going first, so we had to show everyone how to do the challenge.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, every single time we had to like go first, and even before the guys. So it was like really crappy for us. And then we would do so well, but just not enough to beat Paula and Emily. And it's just like, damn, we're just at the bottom again.
Almost had. I just want to throw it back to that goddamn final. Like, if we had, there's no way if we were able to do the eating challenge and like crush it and get through it, there's no way they would have caught up to us on the body bags. That's all I'm saying.
We had like a 25 to 30 minute lead when we got to the food.
And then we were just, I've never projectile vomited like that in my entire existence on any eating challenge, on anything I've ever done. Like, my life, I remember downing Gatorades, and it didn't even feel like, after that, to replenish, and I was trying to down Gatorades, and it didn't even feel like I took a sip, like a whole bottle. Like, as I depleted everything in my body in the vomiting. Like, I wish we moved the bodies first and then ate. Because then we would have won, honestly.
True. And it was so hot outside. That was part of it. And the food was, like, baking in the sun. It was disgusting.
It was the nastiest stuff I've ever eaten. I remember that.
I don't know. I, like, watched the latest challenge, and I was like, I think I would rather eat what we ate.
Oh, really? Yeah, so I don't know.
Except for the fish soup where I made you eat the fish. I was like, no, I'm not eating mine. Like, this is the one thing you're doing for me, Cara. Like, fuck no, I'm not. And then when they like showed it and it was like coming out of your mouth and then you had to like swallow it again, I was like, oh my God.
I don't know what
to do.
Remember, I was like, okay, it's just dirty fish water. And I started and do you know, like, when you're doing, I think the cleanse, like the lemon cayenne cleanse, and you put salt water and it's supposed to, I think it reacted the other. Basically, it was just an entire thing, and I heard it's a condiment, So you're not even supposed to drink it. It's like a condiment in Thailand.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And I had to like chug it. And I remember when the fish thing hit my lips, I didn't know there was something in it. The fish was. I remember it hit my lips and I was like, what the fuck is
I
that?
do remember that.
And then I was like,
it was so
I don't know, I just swallow it. And I just fucking swallowed it. It all came out anyway. Felt like The Exorcist. But
did you guys have like a favorite or least favorite daily challenge from that season? Because I feel like a lot of the concepts of those daily challenges were like pretty unique. You had like the one where it was like the guess your partner's like answers on the when you had to write it down on like what was it
we should have won that one too. I was so mad. Like one of the questions was like something about like skinny dipping or like running around naked or whatever, and I couldn't say myself in the answers. And then I don't remember who you guessed, but I was like, Cara would know to say my name, but like, and I think you even said my name, and they were like, no. And I was like, that's stupid. Like she would have got it, but they wouldn't let me write my own name.
I don't remember that. Yeah, I think the only challenge that I can actually remember is I think that last one. I think because that was
my favorite. That was definitely my favorite.
With the one where you guys ran up the ramps?
No. Yeah, the one where you had to run with the change and guess the color. Simon Says.
Yeah. We had to memorize the colors
and stack the blocks.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Paula and Emily were crushed. They were so upset.
Yeah, that one was like major trust to begin with. Like Cara just like memorized her half, I memorized my half, and we both like just I don't know.
We were like, let's go.
Done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about the one where you guys wore the what was it, the shock collars, and you guys had to like navigate through that little maze?
That was my least favorite because I wanted to punch her in the face. I was like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like, you are into like getting shocked and shit." And she was like crying the whole time. I'm like, Cara, I'm getting shocked at the same time.
It was like I don't know how to explain like the anger that I felt more than anything because you're shocked the whole time and you have no idea where you're going, and so. Like, every time I got shocked, I was just like, fucker, what's my only fucking going? Like, I got so... I'm sorry. That was a sad performance.
Well, I was also mad because we were like, oh, let's just follow Jordan and Marlon. And then they sucked at that challenge. I was like, we should have just done that ourselves.
Yeah. I remember Camilla had, like, no chill. She just went right over and, like, grabbed the fence and just, like, followed it. Like, and just stayed the whole time.
She was like, I'm made of being electrocuted.
Yeah.
That kind of coincides though with one of the eliminations that you guys were supposed to be in. Remember the one that got canceled when you guys walk up to that, and then it was like what was it? Like, it was like that big contraption, right? Yeah. What?
I still kept that. Motherfucker, we got voted in, so that still counts as an elimination that we got voted into.
What was the thought process with that? Like, what really? Like, why was it canceled? Like, was that supposed to be an elimination, did you guys think? Or, like...
They just set it up as a twist, I think, because I don't think that was going to be an actual elimination. Maybe. I don't think so, though. I don't know.
Well, because Trishelle and Sarah had, like, got sent home because Trishelle left earlier that episode, so I think maybe that was why they didn't have the elimination.
Sarah's had some bad luck, man. She's had some real bad luck, for sure.
Do you think you actually would have held up in that elimination though, Cara? Because you seemed not confident, but I think you made like that reference to that you had something similar at your house.
Yeah, I think I would have been fine in that elimination because your job is just to sit there and take it, not do anything at the same time. So it's like, what was it? Asking questions, or Cooke could have done the trivia and I just get electrocuted. So I had nothing to do other than just get electrocuted. So that would have been fine.
Another thing too is because like I feel like the house and living conditions in Thailand weren't like designed to be like not ideal, but like I feel like with the humidity in Thailand and like like the bugs and everything, like I feel like we've seen seasons in the past, like say like an island type season where they're like specifically put there for like the living conditions to be like less than ideal. But I feel like Rivals 2 was kind of like an unintentional like kind of shitty environment to live in. Would you guys, because I've had several cast members kind of, share their sentiments on that. What was the living conditions like in Thailand for that?
I mean, for me, I mean, in the beginning it was rough because they like didn't have air condition in our like bedrooms. So it was like, okay, how are we gonna sleep with like no aircon? This is gonna be miserable. And then once we got that, it was fine. I had no issues. I'm Filipino, so for me, I was like, this is perfect weather. I'm like supposed to go to a tournament after the challenge is done filming anyways, so I need to acclimate myself to this like environment anyway. So I had no issues, but people struggled. But then like everyone would sit by the pool and bake in the sun. So can't sit there and be like, oh, this is horrible. But then you're out in the sun all day drinking wine. Like, of course you're gonna be like hot and bothered.
Yeah. I think we all gathered. I think we were allowed because of the electricity or the way that it was with that house. They didn't want to keep blowing out the electricity. So you were allotted a certain amount of time. Like they would make sure that you weren't in your rooms because the way it was set up, it was like a shopping mall. And we were all behind glass doors.
Windows, yeah.
Like pure glass doors. You can see exactly what we're doing. You're just walking down, what's going on in that room? What's going on in that room? What's going on in that room? And they didn't want you to like be in your individual room. They wanted you to gather so you could start drama and stuff. So they only allowed air conditioning in the main kitchen for a certain amount of time. And then at night, you'd get it in your room so you can go home.
True. That's true.
And hot dogs with everything.
Who did you room with, Cara? I can't even remember.
Multiple people. I think it started with Trev. Was it Trevor? Trey. Rob. So I think I was with the what were they? The Real World Saint
Thomas.
Well, yeah. So it was Trey, Rob, and I forget who else was in the room. And then they were gone. And then I had nobody. Like Wes ended up moving into that room because he was getting bullied.
Derek was in that room too. Probably. Because Derek was partners with Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then they were gone. And then so it was just me and Wes. We got our own suite.
That's right.
It must have been bad in his room to come and stay with me in my room. So.
Well, you guys just probably left each other alone. So he's like, this is perfect.
We were very quiet. We were respectful. And he was like, yeah, he goes, this is great. He goes, nobody's ever going to come in here to hang out. I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Dang, I should have went in that room. But my room was okay. It was good enough.
Yeah, Cara, the whole rumor mill is that for Rivals 3, you and Wes were actually supposed to be partnered up, but I think you had a wedding to go to and couldn't go. That's what everybody speculates on, but I don't know if any...
1,000. Me and Wes would have been partnered, but I kept saying it wasn't a wedding. It was just that I had bought a ticket out for my dad, not my biological dad, but my other dad, who like basically raised me, to come out to Montana. And he had never like traveled out of the state that he was in for like his whole life. And so he was like all excited about this trip. And I'm like, I'm not about to just leave. Well, he's, for his trip you're going to come out to Montana and I'm just going to leave? Like, I don't think so. So it was very important for me to spend that time with him. And I'm thankful that I did because, I'm sad I missed the opportunity to compete with Jamie. That would have been really fun, like another season with Jamie. And I heard it was a really fun season, but I wouldn't have done it differently for anything in the world because it was such a beautiful experience for him and it meant a lot to him. And then he passed away shortly after. So I'm really thankful that I made that choice.
Yeah, there's a silver lining.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys were both, weren't you two, and then I think it was CT and Wes had like your little, workout kind of run around the house program to prepare you guys for the final? Was that what it was? I think I saw on like...
What did we used to do? The train?
Yeah, that was everybody at one point.
Yeah.
Or
wow.
Not everybody. It was like half of us, and then the people that didn't work out would be like cheering or making fun of us.
Yeah. Yep. That's how it went. Yeah, but I remember we'd run, and then somebody'd go to it was like a fireman.
The Indian run. The Indian run. Yeah.
So
where whoever's in the back runs to the front.
Yeah, and then we'd go do different workouts, and then and it kept going like sprints back and forth and back and forth, and we kept switching, and it kept us going. And then CT, once he was good and disgustingly soaked in sweat, would just jump into the pool with his shoes on and everything. It was CT's bathwater was our pool.
That's like CT's thing to do though. Like I'm pretty sure that's like his like tradition on other seasons. I've seen him like the shit they should have shown. They talked about that too. So.
Yeah.
But how do you guys feel like you would have fared in like a cold weather final? Because this, I guess maybe this might pertain to you a little more because you're up in the mountains. Like people always want to know because you've never competed in a cold weather final, to my knowledge. I think Vendettas might have been a little chilly,
I mean,
but
Vendettas was cold. I think Bloodlines was cold. It was in Prague. So both finals that I won were in Prague, and it's cold there, and I fucking love it. So Vendettas was really cold. We were running. There was like a fog and a chill, and I loved it because I felt like I was running on horse trails. Like I thrive in cold, dry climates. Like you put me in Thailand, and I'm dead immediately upon arrival. Like I always do terrible in Thailand. It's my nemesis.
What about you?
Fire and ice.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm better at the warmer climates. I mean, I don't like hot weather either, but I don't like living in the mountains. I mean, I feel like even the third day I was in Argentina, I was like, am I getting altitude sickness or have I just not drank this much wine in a while? But I wouldn't care where the final was as long as I was in the final. I always said that I was a final challenger. Like my game is horrible getting up to the final because I don't play a political game and I only have one season to go off of, but I just don't care to play a political game and you never know with eliminations. But if I get to the final, I'm not someone that's going to give up. I can run. The only thing that I can't do well is eat. But at this point, if I were to return, I would think I'm desperate enough to eat whatever they give me. So.
That you said if we go into this final and we have to eat, you got to pick up the slack. Like I remember you told me, I was like,
I did eat. I did eat though. Like Fessy sucked. Like I actually could eat. So
yep.
I just was really slow and shitty about it, but whatever.
Well, we had the chewy cottlefish. You were loving the durian.
Yeah, the only thing I could like do was the durian, and it was a fruit, so I was like, okay, this isn't that gross. But like the crappy thing is that I was like, okay, this dried squid thing that was so hard to chew. It was like squid jerky. I was like, my cousins and my mom, like my relatives, they eat this on a daily basis, and it's like their favorite snack. And I'm over here like I can't even like put it in my mouth, like literally.
We were swallowing. I'll never forget that banquet. I will never forget. We started with the peppers and we were swallowing those, and I remember that because they came out whole when I started buying. We had the soupy, disgusting fish salt water with the fish in it. Then I ate the whole entire plate of dried bugs. I don't even think they showed that in the final edit. But
you ate all. Well, I could eat
all of
some of the maggots, but you ate all the crickets because it was maggots and crickets. And the maggots, I was like, okay, there's no legs on these. I can eat these, but I was like, I'm not eating these crickets. So Cara ate 99% of that plate.
It was like they tasted like, if I didn't think about what I was eating, that it tasted like potato chips.
Yeah, and Cara would stop and tell me about this, and I'm like, okay, I don't care, just like put it in your mouth already. Like Paul and Emily's over there, and Paul is like Emily shoving food down her like throat, and I'm just like, is this what I need to be doing to my partner?
Yeah.
So Cara, when did you first start to think like that you were starting to really come into your own as like a competitor? Because I feel like you look at your stats, right? The percentages pop out. Like you've been to plenty of finals, you got the elimination wins, but like when did you yourself start to feel like, all right, like I'm really starting to like round in? Because Rivals 2, you started like really, I feel like coming into your own, and then Free Agents and Bloodlines was really when it kind of like was like, all right, yeah, like she's the real deal.
I feel up to Free Agents, I had the mentality of going into a challenge, I'd look and I'd be like, what if I fall? what if I fall? Oh no. And then I'd get put into an elimination and I'm like, gotta hit the bell, gotta make TJ proud. So I changed my mentality in elimination. So I would shit on the dailies and I would do good in the eliminations. And then I was like, why do I wait till the last minute to turn it on? I need to turn it on in the challenge itself. So I think that switch started happening in maybe Bloodlines. I started feeling stronger. Maybe I forget what was after Bloodlines. I know I felt really good in War of the Worlds 1. I felt good in War of the Worlds 2. I mean, we won. Like, once you see me starting, unfortunately, nobody remembers who wins the dailies. Nobody cares. Nobody remembers. Like, you could win every daily every season and nobody cares. They only look at who wins elimination. So that's when people liked me, was when I lost all the time and went into eliminations and then won those. And once I started winning the daily challenges, I feel like that's what turned on for me. And then I didn't end up, because I kept winning daily challenges, I didn't end up in eliminations, and then people hated me. So I don't know, but it works out better for me because it's less damage to my body and it helped me make it to more finals. So I think it was around Bloodlines.
Yeah, I could agree with that. But Cook, obviously the reunion we talked about before, you obviously weren't there, and was that for soccer purposes? How come you weren't at the reunion?
I was in the Philippines when they were filming the reunion. So the turnaround, I initially said, okay, I can do it. And the turnaround was just ridiculous. It was be on a plane for like 24 hours of travel and then do the reunion and then get back on the plane for 24 hours of travel. I'm like, that's not worth it to be exhausted before I go and play. So it was just too much. I was playing on the national team at the time. So it wasn't like something I could just be like, all right, guys, I'm going to go hop on a plane and go do this for what? And I knew Cara would be fine.
Were you fine though?
I mean, it's really funny when you actually look at the entire reunion and then you just see like awkward Cara. So awkward.
You're like sitting in the middle by yourself. I was like, you're such a champ, Cara. Thank you. Thank you for taking one for the team.
I don't know though, because I feel like that reunion in general, just like all around, because that was live. Like they never usually have live reunions. That one was live, and I know like from basically.
I think that was the first live one too. I think
first and
that
only.
was part of it.
Yeah. It was a mess. Like there was a lot. I just remember Johnny Mosley was hosting it at the time, and I just remember CT like going at.
I thought it was Vanessa.
Him, like every question. No, I think you're thinking of Bloodlines.
I don't know. I can't remember. They're all blur.
It was all blur. But yeah, that was kind of messy.
I wasn't there, so I don't remember.
Yeah, it happens. But Cara, I want to ask you though, since obviously you've had plenty of partners, and I think most people would like point out obviously you and Cooke being like such a dynamic duo that you were. What maybe like separates having, Cooke as a partner as opposed to some of your other partners in the past, maybe like a Laurel per se?
I've lucked out so much in the partner department. I mean, I've had Darrell. I've really been lucky. I've had Cooke. I've had Laurel. I mean, Laurel, as a partner, is very, very encouraging in the moment of the challenge itself. Like, very, like, you can do this, like, take it step by step. She had me when I was just baby Cara. Cooke had me when I was middle school Cara. And it was for working with Cooke is just so easy, but it's like having a partner that's athletically better than you. It's like you just sit there and you're just like, we're only going to do as well as I personally can do because I'm, not on Cooke's level of athleticism, or Laurel's level, or Darrell can only run as fast as I can run behind him. So, yeah, it just makes me want to be better because I know there's a lot more riding on me. So I look at the way they're doing it and how they crush it and how they've got no fear, and then try to take on some of that for myself, really. It's better to be partnered with. I love Marie. It's almost better, not better, but like in a way, there's like so much less pressure if like I'm partnered with like a Marie who's like there to like party and have fun, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll do my best, and then if Marie does or doesn't, whatever. Like, as opposed to like, oh fuck, I'm partnered with a beast, I better fucking do well. You know what I mean? It's funny. I've had the whole gambit, but Marie, for what she didn't have, so much in the challenge department, she had in the social game. So it's like the complete contrast. You've got Cooke, who's like, fuck the social game, I'll just perform. You know what I mean? Oh, you want to throw me an elimination? It might be something weird. Or we might be cutting a rope with a nail file. You never know. But, I'll still
upside down.
Yeah, and then you've got Marie that's like, fuck, but she will work that social game. So I can sit on my bed, talk to no one, do nothing, and Marie's like in every ear, I know what's going on here, I know what's going on here, I've got this deal, I got this deal, and I'm like, okay, Marie, like, without Marie, I don't think I would have made it to that final, because the two of us together somehow made that work, but, and then when we're at the final, yeah, I'd want Cooke. But I get that money, but it's a fun experience for sure with everybody. You just learn a lot, and I wish again.
I wish they could just like drop me into the final situation, and that's like part of the show. It's like, okay, Cooke hasn't been here the whole time, but now you have to beat her in a final. Good fucking luck.
Yeah,
and that way I don't have to be gone from my family for so long. That's like perfect for me.
The closest I've seen happen is when they dropped in Hunter and Ashley in what was it, Final Reckoning?
Reckoning.
Way more than halfway into the game, like, okay, you just gotta win an elimination and you're in the house now. And
they
then, like,
asked me to do that.
Shut up!
But they didn't pick me as the final person to go.
What was this?
That was when you guys were in Spain, right?
Yeah! I
was like so excited. Yeah, it was in Spain.
I'm losing track of what was where, but
yeah,
that's 30-30.
Well, the one I'm
30-30 was Colombia.
Wherever you were,
maybe it was.
You could replace someone was definitely in Spain, because I remember like looking it up, and I was like, "What? I could go to Spain?" I'm like, "Yes."
Ashley, I think that might have been when Ashley left, because remember when she left the first night of Dirty 30? That was in.
That might have been it.
Yeah.
Walked into the house on Dirty 30, the whole game would have been changed.
Holy shit.
Sure. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I want to play again. I'm Team Cooke.
Cooke, were you just waiting all this time to just like kind of hold that information and just throw it out of nowhere? Because honestly, I didn't even like know about that.
Well, I mean, like every few challenges I've been asked, it just hasn't worked out. I was always doing something, or I had other priorities, and I don't know. I mean, I was good with like my performance in the first one, but then after I kept watching these shows and it kept building, I was like, I want to be on here, but I have this.
Cooke, you are the audience's priority. You need to give the people what they want. So hire a babysitter and come on out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to talk though, because you guys had some pretty unorthodox eliminations that you guys won, obviously, on Rivals 2. You had the one, obviously, you guys just talked about it, you hanging upside down, having to cut the rope, and then you had the other one where you guys were blindfolded in a stick fight against, Nani and John A. Which of the two, like, well, actually, you guys could just walk me through both of them. But which of the two was, like, more, like, awkward for you guys having to, like, compete in?
Do you want to go?
Well, the first one was just bizarre because, one, it was my first elimination, so I was nervous. I mean, I know we were going against the Barbie crew or whatever Barbie or whatever they call themselves.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, this really can't be a real elimination. But it took forever to get it set up. It was just all over the place. And then Anastasia had her like panic attack. But like the whole upside down and the rules, you can't touch this, you can't touch that. It was, I don't know, it was just kind of annoying. But once we got the hang of it, we were fine.
Yeah.
The second one, Cara, is the one that like I definitely relied on too, because I'm like, she's the elimination queen, and I was like, she ended up doing 2 of the 3 rounds. So she went, I went, and then we decided for her to go again.
I forget.
Because
That one was tough because if you even like flicked the stick weird, it would snap. So I was so nervous.
yeah,
One, you know what I mean? It was like you had to like break it on the other person, which you didn't even know where they were. I mean, that's the thing with eliminations is like people are all like, oh my God, you got to prove yourself. You have to go to eliminations. And it's like, you don't want to go to eliminations because you could be the most jacked person in the world. You could be the smartest person in the world. You could be the most agile person in the world. And your best qualities are blindfolded, or you can't hear, or you can't use your arms. And it's like, and the money is so big at the end of the day that the point isn't to prove yourself. It's like, I'll prove myself in the final. Like, just get there,
right.
you know? So you don't need to be like blind stick fighting in an elimination. What's that prove? Then you're going home over something stupid. So
Yeah, eliminations are
the
not.
plan for sure.
I would, if I were on another challenge, I would try to be very intimidating to the point where people don't want to see me in elimination, and hopefully, or just have to win like all the daily challenges, so I'm not in elimination, because those things are nerve-wracking, and it is anybody's game. I do like the eliminations more now than I did when I was on it. I think they're just a lot more interesting and involve more athleticism. Even the ones with the puzzles, there's still like some sort of thing you have to do before you get to the puzzle. Whereas ours was like, all right, it's a toss up. Who can cut a rope upside down with a saw?
I forever and always, whenever I get an elimination, I would want the stick. I always want to battle with a stick or do a hall brawl. Those are my top two, because that way I don't have to think. Like, I hate going into, you have to come up with a brand new strategy. You're like, oh shit, what is this? How do I do it? Now I have to do math and put a puzzle together. Like, if I have any preference, it's like, just throw me in where all I have to do is run straight and hit a bell. Throw me in where all I have to do is take this stick from you. Like, that's it. Like, that's my preference every time. And if someone beats me, then bless their hearts, they rock, go win that shit. So.
What's your favorite elimination win of yours, Car, like that you've ever had?
My favorite win, I think I always say the one where the two that got me, the two that got me to the finals. It was the one against Johnny, because that was a puzzle, and Johnny was like supposedly locked in, and I thought he was gonna get that puzzle. It was on Bloodlines, and it was like the most weirdest puzzle. Like, the people in the audience couldn't even figure out what it was. So it's not something that they could look and help anybody with. It was just the weirdest puzzle, and to figure that out in that moment, knowing that I was gonna get to move on to the next location, and then right after that, in the same season, I had to go against Anissa. And so wrestling her in pole wrestle, it was like, to me, I was looking at the pole as the check to the final, because I just felt that if I was able to get that pole from her, then I'd win the final. Like, I felt it. And that whole season, I mean, Anissa's really good in elimination. She's the only other girl that's done, I think she might even have done more than me at this point, but like, I always looked at her as an elimination beast. She's like, she's got a lot of body to her, and like, it was, I was at kind of a disadvantage, and I pulled it off. So I was pretty proud of that one. And obviously the against Naya that lasted an hour and a half, but lost this feeling in my arm.
They had to revamp the thing, right, after you guys did it, because they had repeat eliminations on free agents, but they switched it up after you and Naya's one.
Yeah, they added padding to your harness and then a rope. And they changed the torque of the barrels so that it wasn't, because you could literally pull all day and it wasn't going to move because of the way the barrels were holding the rope. So they had to move it so that the rope could actually slip through. So they learned. We were the test dummies. They learned. They didn't want to sit around for another hour and a half with people crawling in the sand. So,
So a fan question wanted to know, like, who do you two ladies, aside from yourselves, think is, like, who would you guys put near, like, the top of the pack as far as, like, female competitors go?
Do you want to go, Em? I mean,
After I just saw the final of 36, I mean, Amber B, was it Amber B or Amber M? Whatever Amber it was.
Amber.
The rookie that killed it with CT. She's obviously a good one. Cam, I think, is strong just from watching. I mean, I don't know any of these people anymore, so
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Who
Well,
else?
what about like just all around like ever to compete, like people that you've competed with, like say like on Rivals 2 or any other season?
I
Well,
mean,
obviously Emily and Paula.
Evelyn, Paula, Laurel. I guess all the people that have beat me in final.
Evelyn, Laurel. Yeah.
Camilla, and Cam is making her way up there. Like Cam is, she's a force. She's smart. She's savage. She's just so smart, and she is a boss. Like I've seen her, body Tori multiple times. She's classy, smart, and strong. Like I will always cheer for.
Yeah, she did really well this past season. I was really proud of her. So, but if I got to be partners with her and then I could just be in the final, that'd be great.
You have to fight me for it, Cooke.
Okay.
Nah, I think people want to see you guys run it back again with the you two as partners again.
We could do that.
Be a good throwback.
Another fan question they want to know, Cooke, out of the seasons that happened after Rivals 2, obviously, which would you have rather done between Free Agents or Bloodlines?
So I had a chance to be on Bloodlines too with my sister, but she couldn't do it. And that would have been really cool if she did it, because she is very similar to me athletically. She's arguably stronger than me. I'm more of a endurance person compared to her. So that would have just been really fun. So that's a bummer. But Free Agents would have been cool too. Honestly, like all of them. I mean,
I think you in an individual competition would be really fun to watch.
Yeah, like I feel like adding Cooke to that Free Agent cast, like would have like been interesting because you had a lot of like, you had obviously Laurel, Teresa were all there, but I think like adding Cooke to it would have been like really interesting too. I don't know how that would have played out, and that's like where the kill card, the draw like comes into play because like you had like a lot of like physical beasts there, but like the draw was kind of like the equalizer. And like I think about this from time to time so much. We almost got a final if obviously you don't break your hand and then like the kill card and everything. We could have had a final of like the 3 fresh Me Too girls with you, Teresa, and Laurel. Like I'm sorry, but that storyline writes itself.
Oh, I have to add too for strongest top girl besides Cam of the newer generation, Jenny. I don't know why I didn't even say her, Jenny, because she is extremely smart. Like that is a big thing because you can have all the muscles in the world, but no brains. So it's a really refreshing when you see, Jenny not only has the muscle, she has the nonstop, like she has no off button, and she's incredibly intelligent with like puzzles and numbers and stuff like that. So and clearly she won. So yeah, Jenny's at the top there too, obviously.
Cooke, they wanted to know who would you have put on a Battle of the Seasons Team Las Vegas team from your real world season? You and another girl and 2 guys. Who would you have gone with?
Probably Leroy and Zito, even though I don't like Zito, and Nani, of course.
Wow, that would have been a power team.
They also asked me to do that one, but Heather wouldn't let Zito do it if I was on the challenge. So that's why they had a mixed Vegas cast.
Oh my god!
I think that's why they had a mixed Vegas cast. You never know what they're going to do.
That's what the rumor around the block is, but
I was asked.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're
We
learning.
would have won that one too. Pretty much like in my head, I think I would have won every single final. But that's the benefit of not doing the challenges. I can keep thinking that and I'll just go with it.
So many missed opportunities. Well, maybe you're halfway in the door again. You're in the right country, so I'll be sitting on my couch
Yeah,
cheering.
No, if I'm
Battle of
going
the
on there,
Seasons.
Cara, your
Dude.
ass is coming with me.
I mean, it's not my call, but it'd be the
Yeah, but Battle of the Seasons was like a pretty like weird like season because I don't know if you guys, because Car, you guys came in freshman came in last, but did you ever hear the story of like why you guys came in like late? I I meant to say I said last, I meant to say late, but did you ever hear the story of like what happened to the team that was supposed to be there first?
a lot of
So,
rumors, but
so there was a team Sydney with Isaac, Dunbar, Kellyanne, and I think one of their other girls. And then like they were like go on the bus going to film like the intro and all that. And then like they pulled every other season into a room and left them on, or no, they pulled everyone out. Yeah, they took them all to the hotel, but then they left Team Sydney on the bus. And then like they held them in a room for like an hour and then told them that like one of them had a medical condition, but then it turned out to be Isaac, right? So then Isaac gets back into the United States, and then he goes to see the doctor that cleared him, and then the doctor said like, "Oh well, we never said that." So then, still to this day, like nobody knows like why Team Sydney got removed.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, me and Camilla and Brandon showed up, and we saw, Big Easy was in our team, and it didn't give us much hope. Um, so it would have been cool to watch Team Sydney.
Yeah, I know. People were pretty bummed out. We didn't get enough Kellyanne in our lives.
I know. I love Kellyanne.
Cook, did you Kellyanne during quarantine or get to talk to her?
No, I did not. I think I saw her in the window as the alternates drove away, and that was it.
Yeah, Cara, I had Kellyanne on a few months ago. She was talking about like, and this is like verbatim too. She said you were the person like she was had the most fun hanging out with in 2020. So
Aw, I love her. Yeah, she came out to Montana. We went through the mountains. We played with the dogs. We went on hikes. Yeah, it was awesome having her out. I love her. She's cool. She's crazy, crazy cool. My girl.
yeah, but thank you guys again for taking the time to do this. I had a lot of fun reuniting you guys. A lot of people were excited seeing I was bringing you guys back together. And who knows? We'll see what the future holds. I think a lot of people would agree with me by saying after watching this, they'd love to see you guys killing it together, or just separately, either or. But
I
thank
would
you guys again.
challenge with Cook one day. I met the new
That'd
and
be
improved
awesome.
girl with Mama Cook. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Back
I'll
and
tag you
stronger than
ladies
ever.
when this is up. All right, take care.